Hello and welcome to my 7th Pokemon Wi-Fi match. This match starts off with Porygon 2 versus Togekiss, which is kind of rare. I don't usually lead with Porygon 2 because I like to save it to Trace Intimidate or Trace Volt Absorb or Water Absorb. But Porygon 2 had a pretty favorable matchup against most of this person's team, so I decided to send it in first, and it got Serene Grace, which is a pretty good ability all around. It'll up the chance of getting the special attack boost from Charge Beam. So, yeah, Porygon 2 can actually make use of it, unlike when it traces Overgrow or the one time it traced Truant. That was fun. So, I do get the boost from Charge Beam, and I went with Ice Beam here thinking it would take Togekiss out, but it just wasn't quite enough. I don't get the freeze hacks with Serene Grace either, so Togekiss proceeds to full flinch hacks mode. Jade Hex actually has this really hilarious mini rant about why he hates flinch hacks Togekiss, and until I heard it, I never actually realized that Togekiss always has this moveset on PBR. Maybe I'll be a little more confident with magic coding in the future, but for now, Porygon 2 is able to hit through the flinch hacks and KO with Ice Beams. Togekiss goes down because it didn't bother to roost at all, just relying on its flinch hacks to KO. It usually works against Porygon 2, but not this time. And my opponent sends out Lucario, I'm thinking to finish me off with a fighting type move, but instead it goes for the world's weakest Blaze Kick. And although Porygon 2 is crippled, paralyzed, it's able to get in a little bit of damage with Charge Beam. It even gets the special attack boost, but that's not going to matter because it won't get to attack next turn. Lucario tries to save face by going for extreme speed this time, but it's too late. We've already seen just how weak your Blaze Kick is, so you should really just pack it in and go home. I send out Hitmonlee, the Kicking Fiend, to show him what a real Blaze Kick should look like, but Lucario runs away, hides behind Gyarados. So thanks to Intimidate, this Blaze Kick isn't going to do quite as much damage as it should have, but the crit cancels out the not very effective, I guess. Hitmonlee's intimidated, so I've got to get him out of there. And Gyarados goes for Dragon Dance while I switch to Venusaur. And, I'm thinking that, whatever. It doesn't matter how high your attack is if you're asleep, so I'm just going to go for Sleep Powder next turn. Venusaur successfully pulls off the Sleep Powder. But Gyarados has a Lumberry, and I was caught a little bit off guard by that. I actually haven't seen Lumberry that often on PBR. But, I mean, it makes sense. It's a really good item for a sweeper, particularly one that uses Dragon Dance. But, I'm just gonna go for Sleep Powder again on the next turn. Not gonna get off quite that easily. So, Gyarados is basically useless now, so he switches back to Lucario. Just in time to take a Leech Seed from Venusaur. And I leave Venusaur in because I had actually completely forgotten about Lucario's Blaze Kick. It was just that weak. So Lucario tries its Blaze Kick, but as you can see, it doesn't even really kick Venusaur. It just kind of walks up and lightly taps it with its foot. So Venusaur survives and can go for an Energy Ball. And between the damage from Porygon 2 and the Leech Seed that it got for free, Lucario is down. So now my opponent only has Gyarados left, and it's already asleep. Plus, it's shown that it can't take out Venusaur even with its boosted attacks. Even if by some miracle it did, I still have Hitmonlee waiting in the wings, and it won't be intimidated this time. So this is pretty much good game. My opponent realizes this and concedes, so that was the match. Thanks for watching.